Welcome to the stream, everybody. So we have here Diamond Victor Oladipo, and I haven't gone over this card yet. Now, I'll admit that as a 6'4 card that had a 79 ball handle and no playmaking badges, I was kind of like, not really for me. But what I always said was, if you throw a diamond shoe on him, he should be able to ball handle and speed boost. But it's one thing to say that; it's another thing to actually do it and then see what the card brings to the table. And I actually saw, oh man, who was it? It might have been Logic Looks or somebody, or maybe Carson Cruz. Somebody was shooting around with Oladipo, and they were just making every shot. I was looking at his release, and I was like, that's a really nice release. So I decided to look at him. I saw a couple of guys on 2K Gamer talking about the card too, so let's get into a deep dive with Oladipo and see if he's worthy. So the one thing that sways me right off the bat is the shoe that I have on him. It basically just does ball handle. It's a Jordan shoe, and you can get this shoe for roughly 6K. Since Oladipo's only running for about 30K, you can probably get him less if you snipe. Like you guys know, I don't have time for snipes. That means that he's still less than 40K, all things said and done. And I think that's a fair judgment point to just say, okay, he's 40K. That's still not a very expensive card. Definitely still in the budget realm. You can make 40K in a couple of hours of just playing the game. So let's look at the card. So we're going to judge him as if you're buying the cheapest available 86 ball control. Well, plus 3 ball control shoe that will allow you to have 86 ball control. All right. So that's the caveat with this card. You do not play this card without the ball control shoe, because it's a different card if you don't do that. So his hot zones are excellent. He's only missing one of the good ones. I would say for the moving shots, these are pretty important. As far as hot zones go, I don't think hot zones are make or break. But the thing to know about Victor Oladipo, first and foremost, is that his shot is just absolutely money. Just absolutely money. I've only been shooting with his card for a couple of minutes, and his green window is tremendously large. I would go as far as to say this is one of the best releases in the game, easily. Like, easily one of the best releases in the game. It's so good that if you were just playing this player as a catch-and-shoot player without the ball control, it's not necessarily bad. Like, if you're running Buddy Hield instead of this guy, I don't know, because this guy's so much better of a defender that I think it's worth having that conversation. Should you run him or Buddy Hield? Like, I know Buddy Hield has, I believe, Hall of Fame range extender, so he's going to shoot from far away. He's one of the best shooters in the game, but so is Oladipo. Oladipo is also one of the best shooters in the game, and I don't personally think that the difference between Hall of Fame range extender and gold range extender is that big of a deal. And that's from my experience in the park and the rec, as well as my experience playing the game in MyTeam. It's nice to have. Obviously, if you can have a badge in Hall of Fame, you prefer that, but it's not the biggest deal in the world. And then also the fact that Buddy Hield can't dunk, and Oladipo is one of the best dunkers in the game. So that's just all to be noted. He's an excellent shooter. He's not a good shooter. He's an absolutely great shooter. So that having been said, let's start getting into his dribbles now that he has the ball control upgrade. Let's see what signature dribbles he actually gets. So first we're going to test his full court dribbles. Check his between the legs out. It's okay. Minor slowdown, not a terrible slowdown. Behind the back. Very good behind the back. Out of all the behind the backs I've tried in the last several weeks, this is probably the best one. This is the closest to a park behind the back I've seen on a card. Hezzy behind the back. It's very horizontal. Not the best thing in the world. Let's try the Hezzy explosion. Very good. I cannot believe Siri is replying to me while I'm doing this. I need to shut that down. But anyway, his Hezzy explosion is very good. It's not the fastest, but he moves a lot when he does his Hezzy explosion. So you can go almost completely horizontally when you do that. And here's another thing I've been doing more and more, guys. The hesitation into the left stick crossover. You see that? Very important dribble move for those characters that have a bad crossover. So let's check the hesitation cross. So yeah, so he has a lot of options off of his Hezzy, right? If you want to, so his behind the back you can actually use to shoot. So his Hezzy behind the back gets him right into a jumper. So I would say off of the Hezzy, this card is absolutely elite because he has every option available. He can Hezzy explode going forward. He can Hezzy explode going to the same side as the ball, going to the same side, you see? and he can also hesitate and go into the left stick crossover, go into the opposite side for one angle, and he can hesitate with the right stick crossover, go into the opposite side for a different angle, which is a lot of options out of the hesitation. So that's pretty fantastic. Monkey Boy 3986 says hello. What's up, Monkey Boy? So so that's great. So let's check his half spin. Ooh, that's a rough half spin. All right, his half spin in the half court is okay, but off the run he had a big pause. Let's try that again. I actually haven't seen anybody do that. Oh yeah, he has a monster pause off the half spin. I wonder if that can be used for anything. Let me see. Okay, so you can use that to teleport behind the back. So I'm not going to call that bad, but it's definitely different. See it in a... Yeah, he has a really big pause before he does the half spin, which is very notable because the half spin has been buffed. Now, it's worth noting that if he's moving, there's no pause. But if he's in a complete standstill or if he's running forward... So if he's moving side to side, it's fine, right? But if he's moving forward, so there it's fine. But if he's just like moving forward, there's a big delay on his half spin that you have to watch out for. So I would say watch out for that. So if you guys have been watching the video, you can already see that he has the behind the back teleport, which is very strong. Still a very strong move. It's also very strong against the computer, by the way. So let me do that once for you guys here. Very strong move, and he has a very good version of it. There's very minimal slowdown post nerf. And he can, and because he's such a great shooter, he can also turn that into a jumper. Let me see if I can get it here. There we go, Vic. Thank you. Oh, you didn't want to run back from me. Now I think he might be fatigued. There we go. Yeah, and he can do that right into a jump shot. Let's check out a step back. Pretty bad step back. They don't like to give these cars the good step backs. I think Westbrook and Oscar Robinson and Kyle Lowry are the only ones who had like the elite park step back. For the most part, these cars are getting bad step backs. And I do think the step back is really an important move for a dribbler. He's got the very glitchy hesitation, which is amazing. That's an amazing glitchy hesitation that he has. That's gorgeous. Wow. All right, let's check his change of direction. Awesome. Awesome change of direction. Awesome change of direction. That's elite. So, obviously he's 6'4", which for most people is a little shorter than you want to go. Oh yeah, let's check his behind the back. I'm sorry. Nice behind the back. Solid. Very solid. He can hippity hop back and forth. Actually, it's better than solid. It's elite because he can go back and forth a lot with that behind the back. He has a very short stop, so you can get behind the screen and immediately. I cannot believe this is happening right now. My Siri is bugging out. Siri's literally going crazy. So yeah, he has an excellent behind the back. Let's see. Let's check his in and out. Ooh, good movement on the in and out. So let's check his full court in and out and change direction with it. Very little slowdown. He didn't move as much when running at full speed, which is interesting. Oh, there we go. So he has two different in and outs. I think it depends on what you're doing with the left stick. Yeah, he has a good in and out. Good in and out. Good teleport. And then obviously the dunking is very, very glitchy. So I'm going to say this is actually one of the best cheap cars you can get on the market. And I would even go as far as to say that unlike, say, a D Brown, who isn't, for me, good enough to justify not having the point guard badges, this guy's so good offensively and defensively with his animations, from the shooting to all of the handles, that I would make the sacrifice of not having Dimer or Floor General on him and just get it from someone like Giannis or Kirilenko or some other source. And you know, you don't have Dimer. That's a big sacrifice, but at the same time, if you're using this card to score and you're using someone else to play make, you're good to go because he's going to lock up like every point guard basically, except for maybe Ben or Magic. But let's get into the details of his ratings now. But he has an excellent animation suite. In fact, before we go to his ratings, let's look at his layups. Really great Same side layup. Yeah, nice layup package. Yeah, this card is actually quite outstanding, to be honest with you. That's not the best layup in the world. Might have to stay away from that one. Let's try it again. Alright. It's a mixed bag going with the forward layup. Some are really good. I wish you could get the same layup every single time when holding the same direction under the same circumstances. Unfortunately, you might just get something different. But he has really good layups, but you might get surprised with one bad layup from time to time, depending on what you do. Let's check his Euro step. Good quick Euro step. Not complaining about it. Check his cradle. Ooh, nice cradle. He has one of the fastest cradle layups in the game. That's really quick. Let's try it with the other hand. Yeah, his cradle layups are... He has very unique cradle layups. Most people's cradle layups have a severe slowdown, but his are pretty quick. Very quick, in fact. He has a speed up in his cradle layups, which is notable. That's really notable. Wow. Wow, wow, wow. Okay. So that's good for him there. So the overall judgment on his animations, I mean, except for his step back and his half spin, everything else is basically elite. And his half spin isn't bad. It's just bad in certain circumstances. Depending on when you do it, there's a big slowdown on his half spin. So, yeah. Yeah, this Oladipo card is pretty outstanding. Again, as long as you buy that shoe, and because you can get the shoe for about 5 or 6K, that's not bad. That's not a bad price for a permanent ball handling shoe. It doesn't give you much else besides ball handling. It gives you like pass accuracy for that cheap. When I was thinking of the card before, I was thinking most of those ball handling shoes go for like 13 to 20K, which greatly raises the price of the card, which at that point is 6'4" card without, dimer, so he can't really play the point. I'm like, I don't know. But you take that down to about 5K, and it's like, well, that's not really anything. You can get 5K playing a couple of games of triple threat, online or offline. So I would have to say this is a very, very, very good card. You can play him at either position. Obviously, if you play him at the point guard, you're giving up the playmaking badges, but he's literally going to be elite in everything else. And speaking of elite and everything else, let's look at what the numbers play out as. So obviously, coaching boost should be active here. And I do have the ball handling shoe on, but again, we all agree you're going to run this card with a ball handling shoe. So that's, this is how the card should be. So 96 mid-range, 94 three-point is obviously outstanding. The free throw is actually pretty low at 73, but if you know a card's release, 73 is about the cutoff where you can hit every single one. So I don't view free throw as a minus until it gets 70 or below. Then you might start missing some free throws. But at a 73, you should still hit every single one. Driving layups at 90 with excellent layup packages. Driving dunks at 85, which honestly might be a short sell on this card. I mean, 85 is an excellent dunk rating, but this is a card that feels like he has more of a 90 dunk rate. Like, he feels like a dunker, where some cards have an 85 and they don't really feel like it. He's not in that group. As you can see with the shoe, the ball handle is just making it to 86, which is what we need. 75 draw foul. The pass accuracy is being buffed a little bit to the 78 by the shoe. No post game. Obviously, he's a 6'4" card. You're not going to look to post up with this card. His defensive rebounds actually is 68, which is pretty good for this card. And here we go. Elite perimeter defense. Elite perimeter defense. So in unlimited, unless you're going against a Ben Simmons or something, or a Magic Johnson, this card can play a point guard and dominate his matchup if you're a better player, Now the interior defense is 49. This goes back to what we were saying. He's not Clyde Frazier, right? He's not gonna stop people from bullying him on a regular basis. That's just a very low interior defense. We'll also look at his strength rating. Extraordinarily high steal rating. Like, offensively and defensively, this is one of the most elite cards in the game on the perimeter. Like, yeah, he's only 6'4". That's not great. But for not being taller than that, I mean, and Ray Allen's only 6'5", right? So it's not like every card that everybody's running is super tall. But you're talking about, if you're running him at the point guard, you're giving up dimer and floor general, but you're getting everything else. and you're getting everything else at a truly, truly elite level. Elite animations, elite attributes on both sides of the ball. You see that 97 speed is absurd. Lateral quickness is absurd, 96. Even the hustle is there. Acceleration's a 92. The vertical's a 97. And his strength is actually a 66, which isn't that bad. So he might stand up for himself a little bit more than your average, than like a Jason Terry or something like that, right? So if people try to bully you with another point guard like a Gary Payton or something like that in the post, he or Westbrook, he might be able to defend that matchup just fine. So let's look at his badges. All right, so well, let's go to the defensive badges first. So here we go. This is where this card really, really shines. Hall of Fame clamps, interceptor, pickpocket, and tireless. And then on gold, we've got the very important chase down, again, with his vertical rating. This makes him an excellent shot blocker from behind, most likely. Defensive leader, which is huge for this card to have that. Gold heart crusher, intimidator, that's the big one. Again, this is the card that separates the decent kind of standard, it has clamps so it's playable cards, from the this is a good, like, this is a great defender, right? This is the great defender badge right here, is intimidator. Clamps just stops you from getting blown by, but it doesn't make you a good defender. It just stops you from being a terrible defender. Intimidator is what makes you a good defender. Stuff like intimidator and chase down make you a great defender. And then of course he has gold pick dodger. Wish that was a Hall of Fame, but we'll take it. His playmaking badges. Downhill, which is irrelevant because his speed is so high. He could have had this one. I mean, honestly, I don't even think he needs it on bronze. It probably won't be a difference, but he has it. It's better than not having it. Quick first step, totally amazing. Space creator, really good badge if you use it properly. And then bailout, stop and go, not necessarily the biggest deal in the world. So he doesn't have ankle breaker, which is a big deal now that the patch is out. But he doesn't necessarily need ankle breaker because he has elite animations and he does have space creator. So on these dribbles right here, your space creator is going to trigger. And if you get him with space creator off of that Hall of Fame quick first step is going to come into play. And because he has such great dunk and layup animations, you shouldn't have a problem getting past people. Between his animation package and his finishing packages, and the fact that he is such a great shooter, so when he does those hop steps, people have to respect it. You know, like if you go up into that and then you pull up, this card can make that shot. So it's something people actually have to play. They have to react to the card. They can't just let the card back off them. So this card shouldn't have a problem getting past people at all. Let's go back to the badges. So he has some of the key, and he's also got gold bailout, which is absolutely key for this kind of card, especially in triple threat online, where you go to the basket, they're going to collapse, you're going to kick out to the shooters. That badge is a must on at least bronze, and the fact that he has it gold is great. What's up, Vincent? Welcome to the chat, bro. Look at these shooting badges. So again, this card's an elite shooter, so let's see how the badges buff that. But even if this, I'm gonna tell you guys, even if the only badges that this card had was quick draw and range extender, he would already be elite because his shot release is just that good. But he has more than that. So he's got the difficult shots, catch and shoot, green machine, tireless, and volume. So if you're gunning with this card, he can light you up. With that release, if he hits 2 greens, he's basically not going to miss for the rest of the game. Like he's that good of a shooter. So he's got gold corner, dead eye, hot start, hot zone, quick draw obviously, and then that beautiful range extender. And if you're running plays, he has the slippery off ball, which could help you. And especially certain freelancers have some nice situations where slippery off ball might come into play. And let's see about these finishing badges. Again, Hall of Fame contact finisher. Does he end Hall of Fame slithery? That's all you need to know. Between these 2 badges, like everything else is great. You know, fast break, showtime, give you that takeover. Acrobat, good for that stuff. Lob City, make them nice and cheesy. Teardropper, huge. We actually didn't shoot a floater with him. But once you have that, oh yeah, that's a nice floater. Once you have that slithery on Hall of Fame with the contact finisher on Hall of Fame, you are good to go. That means he's going to slip past you and dunk on you, all in the same animation. Yeah, real nice floater. His floater is excellent. So this card is great. I actually bought this card just to show you, just to do a breakdown. to give you guys a deep dive into the card. But to be honest with you, I'm probably going to keep him and either run him. I'll probably run him at the 2, but if I want to run him at the 1, I have that option as well. I will keep him in my rotation until further notice. I'm doing okay on MT once I resell all these spotlights and stuff, so I'm not too worried about it. But yeah, this card gets a big thumbs up from me. I'm not going to recommend a 6'4" card without any playmaking badges, but you guys saw the video. He has elite animations in basically every regard. There are a few animations that aren't elite, but there are many, many more animations that are elite. You have more than enough tools to really cook with this card, both from a playmaking, dribbling, shooting, creating in general, and that's on top of the fact that he's an elite defender. So I would actually say that low-key, this probably is one of the better cards in the entire game. I would put him on the top 10 side of probably both point guard and shooting guard, to be totally honest with you. Even though, and you guys know how much I love the playmaking badges, but he's so elite on offense and defense that, again, I think you can run a Kirilenko and get the floor general and Dimer. You know, run Giannis, get the floor general. What does Giannis have it on? Before I start saying crazy stuff. Yeah, Giannis has it on gold. So, you know, and he also, and Oladipo has defensive leader too. Like, so he's such a great defensive card on the perimeter, such a great shooter, such a great ball handler, such a great dunker. He's basically, he would be perfect if he had playmaking badges. Like, if he had playmaking badges, I would put him as the 3rd best point guard in the game behind Magic and I mean, I don't really count Ben Simmons as the number 1, but a lot of people do, so I'll give him that respect. I think it's a very specific play style with Ben and Magic, but in terms of the regular point guards, I'd put him up there with Rose. And honestly, if he had the playmaking badges, I would probably have him ahead of Marbury, just because his animations are just so over the top good. I'd also throw Jeremy Lin in there. People don't look at the Jeremy Lin as elite, but that card is absolutely silly. So that's it for this one, guys. I wanted to get real deep into it because this card has so many good animations, so many good things about this card. As long as you're willing to invest into him and get that shoe, I would suggest getting the cheapest shoe available that has +3 ball handle. That's all you need. He's already elite and everything else, so there's no point in getting a shoe that also boosts like his 3-point and his steal, because he already has those things at a 90 something. So, you know, if you get a shoe that basically just does ball handling, that I bought 2 of those for a total of 10K, which is nothing, you know. I bought the second one just to have. So yeah, so that's it for this one. This card, is he secretly elite? I think he might be, to be honest with you. I think this is a card that you can dominate on offense with this card, and you can defend and virtually any matchup with this card. Any matchup on the perimeter, he's going to do great, because the Hall of Fame Intimidator, I mean the Gold Intimidator, is going to make up for his height, and the speed is going to make up for his height too. All right, so guys, I hope this was informative for you. Yeah, very, very pleasantly. This is the winter. The winter showcase was definitely the best overall set of cards. We got the number 1 point guard. We got possibly the number 1 center in Anthony Davis. Probably number 2 power forward in Anthony Davis. And then we've got Oladipo, who's in the mix. You know, top 5, 6, 2 guards and 1 guards. Like in terms of combo guards, he's top 6, easy. So yeah, that's it for this one, guys. Thanks for watching. I'll see you in the next one. Peace.